why closures are important. In my history of toxic, abusive, problematic, and downright um, useless relationships and friendships, and different kind of equations, personally and professionally, with people, one thing that I've realized, which is one of the key factors which help you close the chapter and move on, is getting a closure. Now, what is a closure? A closure is maybe that saturation point where you realize that there is nothing more that you can do about this particular incident, event, or person, or even a relationship. There is nothing that you can do about the history and the baggage that you've been carrying along for so long. Sometimes you fuck up. I'm sorry for my language, but that's what it is. Sometimes you F up in, again, a relationship or a friendship. Sometimes the other person does, and sometimes both of you do. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. After a point, that ceases to matter. What matters is just trying and understanding what happened, why it happened, how you could have dealt with it otherwise, how the other person could have dealt with it otherwise, what was going on in their head, what was going on in your head, and how now you can try and come out of it. And usually there are two kinds of closures. One is where you realize that there is nothing to look back to anymore, and you just get that closure and you move on to a new chapter in life. The other is that you do end up making peace with what happened because you've got no closure, and you give that person another chance. How you deal with that relationship and that event and that person based on the closure you get is up to you. But the fact that you go out there and you strive to get a closure goes a long way in getting out of that mess. Because what happens is that, a lot of the times why we keep fixating on a past relationship or, again, person or event is that there is something which is left to be sorted in our head. There are a lot of loose ends. There are a lot of, I would say, untangled and unsolved conflicts and emotions. There are so many questions which are not answered, which is why, that tape keeps playing in your head on a loop. So it becomes important for you to go back and check with this person. There's nothing more courageous and more important than to go out there and seek the answers that you've been looking for so long. You have to go back to the source of your trauma sometimes in order to heal it. That is how I have personally resolved so many conflicts in my life, emotional conflicts, traumas, heartbreaks, and bitter experiences, by just going back to that person and clearing it out. And I know it's not easy, trust me, I know it. It's not always easy, it's not always doable, it's not always possible. Sometimes you just have to give yourself the closure that you didn't get from the other person. But when it's possible, when you think that there is even a little scope of you going back to that trauma and trying to analyze what happened, you should take that chance. And this is not only coming from personal experience, this is also anecdotal in nature. I've seen a lot of people do this and kind of help themselves in moving on. And also from a psychological point of view, from a professional point of view, I think that communication is key in terms of human relationships. You have to talk to people, you have to express what you're going through, you have to ask them the right questions, you have to get the answers, and you have to tell yourself, you have to teach yourself when to close the chapter. So if you're going through an emotional turmoil, if you're going through a conflict, if you're going through a heartbreak, or anything which is keeping you in the past, which is still making you wonder what went wrong, which is still making you question a lot of things, then it's time for you to just step up your game. Just push your comfort zone a little, go back to that person, talk to them, clear it out, hear them out, express yourself, communicate, and just call it a day. Of course, the actual wound will take time to heal, but when you have all of your answers clear in front of you, it will help you see the bigger picture. It will give you a lot of perspective which you didn't have earlier, and it will help you get out of that mess maybe a little easier than otherwise. I hope this little chit chat from me helped you in some way. If it did, let me know in the comment section below. If it didn't, also let me in the comment section below, but please keep the criticism constructive. I heal you, you heal me, together we heal the world. Let's see. Bye.